Alright, guys, welcome back. We are watching Mushoku Tensei, Season 1, Episode 5. Last time was a crazy episode, frankly. Lots of stuff happened. Rudy has his two sisters now. He's leaving. He's being shipped off with Ghislaine to who knows where, on a job, I suppose. Being separated from Sylphie, which is maybe a good thing, considering the current way Rudius is. I don't know. That might be a positive for both of them, frankly, right? Last thing we want is for Rudius to cause harm to anyone. Uh yeah, I it feels like we're kind of entering like the second phase of the story, right? Feels like, maybe that whole the first like four episodes were kind of the first arc in a sense, you know? Now we're heading out into the world. We're going somewhere. We kind of have no idea what the situation is. So I guess we'll see. Let me make sure I have my subtitles on. I sure do. Okay, we are starting in three, two, one. She's scary. She really is. And he seems to also get that vibe, huh? Okay. She can't read. What do you mean? I wonder. I don't know. I wonder what literacy rates are like in this world. Ooh, a very muscular. Don't read that out loud. Yeah. Oh no. She just accepts that instantly. Ooh, he will be a tutor. I suppose that makes sense with how smart he seems, right? Compared to other children. Ah. You really should not say this part out loud. Ooh, a sword king. It's Paul, buddy. Yeah, we gotta stop. Is he? I don't know about that. It's 5 years. Wow. Oh, that is. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so it is all about that, like you said. Oh, that's such a thing to do to your young child, though. You know? Right. Hmm. It's like they have such high expectations for him, right? With how impressive Rudius seems at such a young age. Right. Perfect. God. Hmm. No, he's never like been in this position, right? The the expectations of the people around him. Sure, I suppose. Has a level head about it, huh? I mean, he's gonna miss her. Yeah, I'm sure, you're of course he's gonna miss her, no matter what. Huh. Ooh, here we are, huh? A very fancy, I mean, yeah. We're said to be a noble, right? I don't think he can drink. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, we don't know what that's like in this world, huh? Ooh. Immediately, this guy looks kind of ominous to me. Ooh. Right. He's got to learn that, huh? He's gonna be here. Philip Boreas Grey Rat. So, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, another Grey Rat. So what, if Paul is his cousin... Hmm. Sure, nothing wrong with that, come on. Well, is it? Like, Paul's branch of it? I don't know. That's about all he knows, indeed. Okay, sure. Ooh, such a such a mansion, a castle almost. It's why is everyone? It's yeah, right? Like, come on. I guess he is Paul's son, so you know, willful, huh? Oh, maybe he doesn't have high expectations on him, huh? Not from him, at least. Eris. Oh, it's the red hair girl. I see. Yeah, very striking color, huh? Danger signals. Start shaking. Nice, nice. Oh god. She's so loud. Oh no. She is like unable to be worked with, huh? Oh my god. Right. It's no kidding. Oh god. What do you do? I don't know. That can't that I there's no way that can be the correct. Right. Yeah, that seems about right. I don't know if she is this music. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know if she's one to be reasoned with, huh? He's dead. It's over. Ooh. Starts sprinting away. I'll mash you into paste. Hmm. It's the protagonist of a delinquent manga, I suppose. If that's how you want to view her. Huh. Okay, what do we do about that, huh? I don't even know. It's... True. Thank you. Much better. God. Maybe that's what he needs, though. I don't know. I see. I see. It's an interesting worry. I guess. Wouldn't really do anything, though. Yeah. Yeah. God, that face. Oh, really? I wonder why. Something to trick her, huh? Zooming in on him, huh? Hmm. A way to trick her. A way to make her think that it's like her choice, that it's her decision. You know, because she's so rebellious. I guess that makes sense. I mean, I think he might be able to understand that with part of his attitude. Ooh. I didn't even think about, yeah. Oh, that was like the sound of the cars and stuff, yeah. He doesn't, right. The Holy Relic. God, that's so silly that he has the necklace that Roxy gave him that like should be so much more important. Are we tied up? We're in boxes. Okay. that? Oh, is this the plan? Okay, okay. This is the plan, I suppose. I see. Ah, make her, like, reliant on you. God. Is that really a good way to do it, though? I wonder. Right, right. I wonder how he does that, how he, like, directs it to a specific place like that. Oh. Oh, God. It's, yeah. This guy is very intimidating. Look at him winking. I am concerned. Yeah, I don't know if this is acting, huh? Oh. But, oh, God. Right. But what is the chance of that? Oh, how nice of you. Yeah, I don't think this is the situation we thought we were in, but, like, literally, what is the chance of that, right? Oh, God. Yeah, for teeth. Oh, God. I mean, he said he can use healing magic, right? Oh, right. Which he can't use silently for some reason. I wonder why. Ooh. Intentionally didn't heal her all the way. God. Oh. Yeah, no, this is not. These are literal kidnappers. Like, what the hell is happening? Make do with just the boy. Yeah. Yeah, you don't. You can't beat Paul in a fight, right? Hmm. Still so focused on that idea of, like, teaching her. Oh, that's cool. Sayonara just leaves her. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Ah, this is like, it's so, like, forcing her to ask for help and rely on him. I don't know how I feel about that. But, hmm. Oh, God, she's so stubborn though, isn't she? Oh, right. Yeah, I guess we forgot that swords can do that in this world, huh? Okay. They are gone. They know that they're gone though, so oh, where are we? Exhaling, huh? Oh, such a quiet village. It almost it's be quiet. It's yeah, it's like that's the only way she knows how to talk. Is just yelling. Trying it again, huh? Ooh. Makes me think of when, like, he was right. Makes me think of when he was cast out onto the street, you know? Hmm. Wish I could read that. People gotta learn how to read in this world. I can't live like that forever. Hmm. God, that little smile. Okay, off we go. God, it is so pitch black, right? No artificial lights really in this world, huh? Because we have a lantern there, but oh, this is that even them or I guess not. Okay, are we back? This Roa? Oh, it's so quiet and so hmm. I I would not be relaxing still. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Especially with that shot framing. Oh, this guy that we zoomed in on. Yeah, I don't know if oh god. What a right. Oh. Yeah, this guy's in on it, right? So what, he used this opportunity. God. Ooh. God. That's crazy. Ooh. Oh, I keep it a promise, right. Oh, he might be biting off more than he can chew here. I wonder. Yeah, yeah. This guy. Join us, we'll give you a cut. Ooh. 100 Asura gold pieces. Is he really considering it, huh? I see. Hmm. God, is that really what it's all for? I mean, they're like selling her too or something, so I mean. Ooh, right, right. I mean, this is kind of an obvious like first test for him in a way, you know? Oh, sure. Yeah, it would. I put you on the bad path of the game or whatever. Right, right. Like, hello. God. Ooh. Like a signal, I suppose? Oh, beautiful. Oh, is that Ghislaine? Oh, be careful, please. Oh. That's pretty efficient, I suppose. Hmm. Oh, cut right through it. Ooh. Really pulling out his whole repertoire here. I can just slash through the fireballs. Oh. Oh god. What do you do? Oh, well, here comes Ghislaine. She'll, like, catch it midair or something. Oh. Or that, sure. Right. It's of course. Oh, look at that sword. Oh, it like made like a sonic boom. Oh God. Oh, never seen anything like that, huh? That makes it feel so real, probably. You know, because he was like avoiding killing them. It felt like. Oh God, it's not just a video game. God, how cool is she, huh? Yeah, get this guy too. Throw him in the dungeon. Oh God, yeah, they're people, bad people. Which, makes me think. Oh, I love the music in this show a lot. God, she went through a lot, huh? Like, how traumatizing that all had to have been. I feel like that can't be, you know, probably not the best way all of this could have been handled. Obviously, this isn't what they really wanted. Hmm. Like, are there that many people just after their heads, right? It's that kind of world. Oh, even her own father bats his hand away, huh? I wonder why. I wonder why she feels like this. Hmm. I want to relate it to Rudius. Oh, his hands. Really? Because you didn't do it all by yourself? And he thinks, oh, I mean, yeah. It's like he hasn't thought much about all of that at all. Hmm. Okay. Ooh, okay. Is that supposed to mean he's staying? God, I love like the pose she makes. God, she is so ridiculous. Don't call her that. Yeah, please. Don't feed that. Hmm. Shut up. I doubt it. Come on. I think she's similar to Rudius in many ways. Ooh. That's already the end of the episode. That was so fast. Like, what do you mean? That episode was over instantly. It's what? That's actually crazy. Huh. Lots of stuff in this episode, huh? Hmm. It was a good episode, for sure. Hmm. It's really hard to actually no. I'll talk about it in the discussion. I have like a whole never mind, never mind, never mind. I let's just wait. Let's just wait. I gotta not get ahead of myself here. Oh, I like the ending. It's our next episode. A day off in Roa. Sounds fun. Sounds nice. Nice and relaxing, surely. Okay. Let's talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, that was a cool episode. Some of the man, that's like the most action we've really had, huh? It's Ghislaine is crazy. Apparently, I guess we have no idea what like the power scaling or whatever is like in this world, right? I guess they said in the opening here, Paul said in his letter that yeah, that she's a sword king, right? Which is like the same level that Roxy's on for like water magic, right? And Paul said there's only like he said you can count on one hand how many like magicians of that level there are in the world. So I don't know if it's like that for like just general swordsmanship as well. Um, I don't know. I wonder if like swordsmanship is more common than magic. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get into all of that someday. But I don't know. She's awesome. Apparently, this is a crazy scene. I think there's a lot of stuff you can say about um, Rudius's like behavior and thoughts in this episode. The way he's viewing this world, the way he's viewing other people in it, how this whole scene, the aftermath of this scene here with Ghislaine, and him looking at the blood, right? Looking at this horrible, like Jesus, man, that is awful. So gory. Like the echoing in his ears, like the high pitched noise, right? How everything's all drowned out as he looks down at the blood. It's like him realizing, or on some level, realizing that this is all like real, right? He still engages with other people and thinks of them, like after this, right? With like the thing he thinks about Eris and like his relationship points with her or whatever. He still doesn't really think of all of this as real in a way, right? He kind of doesn't even know how. You know what I mean? Like his previous life he didn't take seriously either. He didn't view that as like real in a way either, you know? So of course he doesn't, right? It makes perfect sense. I just think that that whole scene, him seeing the blood, there's like the shot of him looking at his hands covered in blood even. It's a serious wake-up call. It's a serious, like, realization of how yeah, how these are all people, and he's never seen anything like that before, right? Not at all. How visceral it has to feel, right? Like, the emotions going through your body. Like, it's nothing like a video game. It's nothing like he thinks a lot. It's like he almost the way he views himself in the world right now is he really does view Rudius himself, right, as almost like his avatar, and himself is still like that voice in his head, right, that has like his voice from his previous life, right? And I think that separation has kind of got to go away. I think that's a very important thing for him to come to terms with. He has to be able to view himself as Rudius and view himself as, this being his life now and this world being real and all of that. In order for him to achieve, what he said he wanted in the first episode, which is to take this life seriously and change and whatever all that even means to him, right? Like, it's still I still think that, just like anyone, there's no way Rudius has, some kind of perfect, objective understanding of his own actions and all of the mistakes he's ever made. I don't think that exists, and I especially don't think that's possible for yourself to, like, view that, to, like, analyze your own actions like that. So I still think, like, yeah, no matter what, he's always going to have that problem of viewing things through the lens of his own eyes, right? No one can escape that. And I think this episode, at least, kind of gave us some progress on that, right? It's more so like just the way he views other people too, like just like this whole thing with Eris, him saying, I think it's right here. Yeah, I wonder if I earned affection points for my choice back there. I I still think it's kind of like a coping strategy for him. Like it's obvious like yeah, he's kind of viewing this world as like a video game or as like like he's not taking it seriously like he said he would maybe. But I also think he of course is like scared of connection and is scared of like emotional relationships and anything like that, right? And this is almost like a coping strategy he's using, it feels like, like because it's scary. For 20 years, he never did anything like this. It's hard, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm very interested to see where we'll go with all of that for him. Like this feels like this is what I was going to say during the ending when I stopped myself to save it for now. It's kind of impossible for my view of this show to not be what would the word even be? To not be, like, influenced, I suppose, by all of, like, the drama and the sentiment around it, and all of the like, again, before I even started watching this show, the number of people who are just everyone just needs to chill out, right? Just the number of people who are arguing about it and just saying all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And it's not like I've been spoiled. I don't know anything that happens in the story. I have no idea, right? But I do know that for a lot of people, what I have to assume is that the show fails to clear that bar of making it feel like Rudius like actually changes, right? That's kind of what I have to assume the issue is, right? Is the idea that if this is meant to be a journey of personal change for Rudius, that in a lot of people's eyes, the show fails to meet that bar. And why would they be angry about that? Well, I mean, it could just be because they think the show is poor writing or something. I don't know. Again, right? It's kind of impossible for me to not be influenced by the knowledge that a lot of people have that sentiment and feel like that about the show, right? Um, and that keeps making me think things. That keeps making me think, okay, why do people feel like that, right? I can't turn off my thoughts. So sorry if you would rather me ignore all of that completely. I wish I could. I just can't. It's not going to influence like my actual opinion on it. I hope, right? I'm gonna watch the show and form my own subjective opinion based off the writing and how I interpret it. Of course, that's all I can do. Um, but I was just thinking, like in this episode, how we have all of these moments of Rudius, like, looking down at the blood. We have that whole scene, right? Where it's very clear that what's happening there is Rudius having this, having like this very human moment, this very visceral reaction to that scene and all of that, right? The blood on his hands, it feels like he's viewing it all as so real and stuff in a way he hadn't before. And then a scene later, he says something like this, right? Where he earned these affection points back, blah, 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 blah. Where it's like, if you wanted to be bad faith about it, so you could, like, say that that's somehow, Rudius didn't actually learn anything from that previous scene, blah, 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 right? Not to say that everyone who doesn't like the show is bad faith. I haven't seen the whole show. I guess just what I'm trying to say is, I can imagine that with the way the show has gone so far, it feels like the process of change for Rudius is going to be such a slow and arduous process, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, like I said, right? Except maybe not even, probably slower than that, right? Like who even knows? Because I think that's a very realistic way to show it, right? Is I think the process of change as a person, it's so difficult. Most people, once they reach their adult life, it feels like they barely change at all, right? People are so stubborn in their ways and stuff that I think Rudius's journey for change through the course of the show is going to be very slow. And I just wonder if that's why people have such a if that's why a lot of people feel the way they do about it. If that's why if a lot of people feel like Rudius does not change as much as he should over the course of the story, right? Which again, it's like that's just kind of like the vague sentiment I feel like I've absorbed through all of the arguments and stuff around the show, right? That's kind of one of the only things I can imagine. I wonder if it's just because that process really is just going to be this slow and this, but in my mind, that just kind of makes it realistic, right? That just kind of makes sense to me. So, I don't know. Again, I obviously at this point in the show, considering how much people despise this show for some reason, I haven't seen anything like that yet, right? So, again, unfortunately, you can call it being spoiled, I guess, just because I know something's going to happen at some point that makes people hate this show. I haven't seen that yet, right? I know at some point something's going to happen. There is some element of this show that will be so awful and will apparently be so apprehensibly terrible and horrible that so many people hate it as much as they do. And I'm just very curious about that. I'm very curious what that will possibly be and how we're gonna. But no point in speculating. I suppose no point in speculating. We'll see it when we get there. I guess I guess the reason why I just went on this whole like spiel here is just because uh I feel like I'm just so my experience with the show so far has been nothing like what people arguing in my comment section and my Discord and everything would have me to believe. I've really been enjoying it so far. I see absolutely no to me, the way the show is currently, I do not see how it possibly matches the amount of vitriol and stuff that people have for it. But again, I'm 5 episodes in. I don't know. I don't know, right? It's just kind of I just think it's very interesting. I just think the audience that surrounds this show is so the attitudes that they have on both sides are so extreme that it just really interests me, and I just can't I just can't stop thinking about it, you know? Again, I don't think it's gonna influence the way I feel about the show at all. I don't know how it would, honestly. Like, because to me, it's just an interesting it's just further interest about the show, and just further makes me think about it, right? Okay, maybe that was too long of a ramble. Anyway, we meet Eris in this episode. I like Eris. She's quite the character, huh? She's very, she's very similar, I think, to Rudius in a lot of ways. I think Rudius is able to understand her and her behavior, at least through the lens of which he might have viewed his own behavior in his previous life, or at least views it now, considering like however much he views himself to have changed since then, right? Given this new opportunity he has, this new life. She is incredibly like rebellious and just rude and like it's she immediately walks up to Rudius and slaps him because he like said something. It's like ridiculous, right? It's crazy, you know. But Rudius gets that. Rudius understands. She is just a spoiled child who it seemingly has absolutely no idea of consequences. Has never faced that kind of thing in her life ever, and just acts like this towards everyone, right? Just like Rudius. Rudius was like that for his entire life in his previous work in on Earth, right? In his previous life, right? There was no for 20 years he was allowed to live in his parents' house, right? Not having to worry about money or anything, just as a recluse forever. Um in a very similar way. And it's like it's like Rudius has had lines about this, about how he's so used to trying to fight his way through unwinnable arguments or whatever, and all of that. I think he, in a lot of ways, is very similar to the way Eris is now. And I think his approach towards this issue, towards her tutelage and stuff, and how he wants to try and convince her, says a lot about the way that he must view his own behavior. Because I think when he looks at Eris, when he sees her behavior here, he definitely understands it because of, the way he acted in his previous life, right? The first question is how much does that say about how much how much he actually understands his behavior from his previous life? What he actually thinks about it, I'm really not sure. Again, in episode 1, he said he wants to change, or rather he said he's going to try, right? He didn't even say he's going to change, right? He said he's going to try his hardest and like succeed in this world. And I suppose that in and of itself means you have to change, right? He wants a different outcome than the one he had in his previous life. Um, how much of a, does that mean that he views his previous actions and the way he acted before as somehow like fundamentally wrong and all of his behavior was somehow terrible and he now views all of that with like a clear mind? Like, no, not at all, right? So I do think that the way he treats Eris here and the way he decides to deal with this problem says a lot about the way the way that he now views his previous behavior, which he knows that the only way he could have ever like done anything in his previous life, kind of at the very end of his life before he died, was people forcing him out of his room, forcing him to do it. Right? That is literally the only possible thing anyone could have done. He was so stubborn, so a complete refusal to do anything at all, to leave his room, to and a lot of it was from trauma and stuff. Like, sure, right? But he also seemed like a very he didn't even go to his parents' funeral. He didn't. It's like he didn't care about anything at all, right? And the only possible way he could get out of that room to do anything was for people to literally drag him out, right? People who by that point didn't care about him. They were sick of his shit. They just threw him onto the street, sure, right? But that is like a similar thing to what he does with Eris, right? He's like, he can tell that she is not going to listen to reason the same way he wouldn't before. And he thinks that the only possible way he can get through to her is to put her into this unwinnable, awful situation where she has to be reliant on another person. She has no other options at all. Her only other option is death. And that's it, right? Which I do think, again, I think that says something about the way Rudius viewed his own behavior in his previous life, at least the way he views it now, right? And I do think it's kind of unfair to Eris, probably, right? I can't help but get kind of this icky feeling about the way he treats her in this episode. Sure, she is she's ridiculous, right? She's ridiculous. Her behavior and the way she treats other people and stuff, yeah, it's insane. She's such a spoiled child, right? That's a pretty reasonable explanation for her behavior, right? Like that's not it's not like she's a terrible person or something for being a spoiled child. It's kind of her parents' fault, if anything, right? But I do think like the way Rudius treats her, the way Rudius makes it so she has to rely on him and she has no other option at all. I don't know how I feel about that exactly. I think that's that level of feeling like there's no possible way. Like his immediate plan, the immediate thing he goes to is all of this, right? Putting her in this life or death situation where she has no choice, right? He didn't know it was going to be real, but it was supposed to be fake, right? Sure, sure. But still putting her in what she thinks is a life or death situation. Um, and giving her like no opportunity before that. This is his first plan, his first immediate plan after seeing the way she is, right? Um, it kind of betrays this lack of trust in her to like change at all. And I guess a lack of trust in himself as well, right? To think that, just like him in his previous life, having in his mind no ability to change at all unless people physically forced him to, right? Forced him out of his room. He views her in that same lens. So I guess to me, the same way that I think it's kind of unfair to yourself to view yourself like that. Whether or not you want to say Rudius is even right, I guess, right? Kind of hard for me to, I don't know. I think it's unfair for him to view Eris in that same way, right? Obviously, it worked, I guess, right? It worked. She did break, she broke a character, right? She broke her trope, and asked for help and reached out to him, and it worked out in the end. But I don't know. Is that the way you have to do it? I'm not sure. Maybe that's what some people need, and I think it certainly is. Like again, maybe you could say that Rudius in his previous life was someone who needed something like that. He needed someone to show up and in a life or death situation to force him to change, and that's the only way he would ever get anything done in his life. So that's just therefore how he views the situation with Eris too. But I feel like that's just such a negative way to view it, right? For that to be his first thing to go to. It's not like I'm saying that I have like serious moral issues with his plan here. He didn't know it was going to be real. He didn't know this was, he didn't know what was going to happen. Of course, right? I think if anything, it just says something about the way it just says something about the way he views the situation and views himself, right? For sure. I don't know. I don't know. We'll put a pin in that. We gotta talk about the opening scene here. We gotta go through it all. We start off here with him reading this this letter from Paul. We have several mentions in this episode of people being unable to read. Ghislaine can't read. Eris can't read. I wonder what the literacy rates are like in this world. They gotta work on that. Like that is not good. That's man, you gotta learn how to read. Like it's come on, right? I guess that's what Rudius is here for. He's gonna teach Eris how to read and do a bunch of stuff, right? And that whole idea brings me to kind of what feels like maybe the setup for the next like arc of the story, perhaps, just however long he is Eris's tutor for, which is the position that Rudius is in now through all of this. He has these expectations on him, right? Paul and Zenith and Sylphie and all Lilia, all these people in his life view him as someone who's so impressive and so smart and so, and all of these things, all of these things that they view him as such because again, he has advantages, right? He has all these memories and stuff from being an adult in the body of a child. So it's quite the advantage, right? All these people view him as so impressive because of that and the expectations that come with with all of that, right? With the way that they view him, what they think he should be capable of, what they think he will how they think he will be, right? Like Roxy, right? Roxy saying that she thinks that he surely by now he's like the best mage of all time, right? Whereas he feels like he's stagnating, right? It's kind of catching up to him, right? His like inherent advantages he had when he first got to this world. Um which it's an interesting idea. How do you think Rudius is going to react to those expectations? Because in his previous life, there were kind of no expectations on him at all. Any expectations that existed, he failed to meet them horribly, right? And he so stubbornly fought against them, and everyone's expectations of him got to the point where rather than even asking him to leave, a bunch of people showed up with baseball bats to kick him out, right? Like they did not believe in him at all in any way for a moment, right? And maybe they shouldn't have in that considering his behavior, right? Kind of fair, right? He's in such a different position now. People view him in such a different light, in such a different way. And I wonder how he's going to deal with that. I wonder how all of those expectations are going to affect like his psyche and his behavior and everything moving on into the future. Especially considering like again, a lot of the reason why he feels so special and so impressive right now is just because of his young age, right? And one day, eventually, as he gets older, that's going to kind of catch up to him. If he doesn't really put in the work and he doesn't really try and he doesn't try his hardest, he might be very disappointed with where he ends up. He might end up not meeting those expectations of people. He kind of has to learn when expectations are unfair as well, right? Um, it makes you think like he's dedicated himself in this world to trying to change and trying to do better, trying to improve himself. By what metric is he going to decide that, right? How is he going to decide if he's happy with who he is and how he's changed? Will it be by the evaluation of others, whether or not he meets other people's expectations? Because if so, that might be hard. That might be a really difficult thing to do. He's kind of set himself up for a very difficult process if that's how he's viewing it. Because so many people view him in such a high way right now. I think it's very important for him to learn how to not meet people's expectations and be happy with that and not like withdraw and become like he was in his previous life, right? You can't help but think it becomes like this spiral, right? Where like in his previous life when he became, like a recluse and all of that, where once he stopped meeting people's expectations at all, it became so hard for him to leave his room and like try and meet any of them, right? Because once he's tasted like that failure and he knows that people are disappointed in him, he knows that his family is like worried about him and feels like he's not doing what he should be doing. A lot of that might just be in his own head, right? Um, Leaving his room at that point, it just gets harder and harder every day because then that's like you have to face it. You have to face that failure. You have to face the fact that those expectations that the people who care about you, at the very least, you feel like you haven't met them, and what that means, right? It's so much easier to just throw your hands up and just give up. And just be like, well, fuck all those people. So I'll just not meet any of their expectations forever, right? If I ever start trying again, then it's like I've admitted defeat, and it's like I've shown them that they were right and that I should have been meeting those expectations. It's so much easier to just give up and just not do that at all, right? Like, yeah, yeah. So this is probably a pretty long term thing when I think about it, right? I think this is something that, in the very long term, will be something Rudius will have to deal with, right? In the immediate short term, this whole tutor situation, I do wonder. I guess I do wonder how this will all pan out for him. If it will go as well as he wants it to. He might keep meeting people's expectations for a while. It might be a long time until we've reached that point where he has to deal with that pain, that issue of not meeting people's expectations again. And that'll kind of be the real test to see, whether or not he really has like changed in a fundamental way, it feels, Because I feel like that's kind of explanatory for as what started his spiral into where he was in his previous life in the first place, right? Anyway, we read this letter. As Paul says all these like these crazy things about Ghislaine. Rudy, you gotta stop reading this thing out loud. Like, God. Yeah, to a 9-year-old noble girl in Roa. So we learned that this noble family they're also the Grey Rats, right? Which is Rudius's last name, Paul's last name, right? They're the Grey Rats. They seem to be of like a different branch of the family, some sort, because these Grey Rats live in a mansion castle thing, and they're nobles, whereas Paul and Zenith are living out in the middle of this village, right? It seems very, very different. I wonder if there's some history in the family there, if there's some strife. I can't help but wonder. Paul has said things about his father and the relationship that they had, the negative relationship that they had, the way it didn't really seem to work out between them. I wonder if that kind of extends to the whole Grey Rat family, and if Paul's like estranged or something. If yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff to think about with that, huh? I hope we get into that, I suppose. So she's a sword instructor, gonna teach Rudius more of the sword, which he hasn't been doing too good at, but who knows? Who knows? She's a sword king, right? Right. I've never beaten her even once, except in bed. Paul, you gotta shut the hell up. Like, God. For the next 5 years, until you turn 12, you'll teach reading, writing, and arithmetic and basic magic there. Paul, this is crazy, isn't it? To send your son off at this young of an age to go, I don't know, that is a crazy thing to do. I wonder how Rudius really feels about that, you know? Again, the way he feels about his parents, the way he feels about Paul and Zenith, he doesn't even. It's kind of sad how he just is like sad that he doesn't get to see Selfie anymore, and he doesn't even think about them. But oh well, I guess. I just feel like that's such a harsh thing to do. I forbid you return, send letters, or make any contact whatsoever. That's crazy, right? And this is all in the name of keeping him absolutely disconnected from Selfie it's at all costs. Like that's such a wow, that is really I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. I do think it's good for Rudius to be away from Sylphiette, probably. I think with the way he is right now, I really don't think it could have ended up being healthy in the long term with the way Rudius was thinking about it and stuff. So I think they need to be apart from each other for a while, right? I'm sure we will see her again. I'm sure he will see her again, maybe in many years, and maybe it'll be like fine then. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know though. This is such a like oh god. You'll work, earn money, and live independently. I can't wait to see the person you'll become. This is what I mean by like that idea of expectations and stuff, and how Rudius will live up to them. I don't know. I don't know. Rudius doesn't really think about it, right? We don't see him think about it at least, but it's got to be something weighing on his mind in a way, right? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. The young lady is fair game, but hands off the strong woman, she's mine. Like, shut up. Like, yeah, send that letter to Zenith, please. Thank you. Selphie might be all alone now, but she'll never grow if she doesn't solve her problems for herself. And you, right? You too? Like, God. Hmm. So we arrive in Roa in this very fancy it's basically a castle, right? Like the building is crazy. When they're walking later in like one of the like hallway things, it's like yeah, oh, this guy is the guy who gives him the drink, huh? Who is part of this whole plot later. The whole plot to like kidnap Eris and stuff. It makes me wonder, like, one, it kind of says like the world that we're in is very like dangerous, right? Like that's kind of the way it is. I assume there's bandits and there's people plotting these nefarious things, and there's that kind of like lawlessness feeling to it, probably, right? Kind of scary, right? And two, it also makes me wonder if, you know, the other way as well is how important are the gray rats, right? Like how big of a deal is this family exactly if they're willing to do all of that for Eris, right? Like I don't know. I don't know. I wonder. I wonder how much of a big deal their family actually is, right? It would make sense if we hadn't really heard much about it because it feels like Paul is kind of is separated from them, right? So we meet this guy, shows Rudius how to do his proper greeting. Philip Boreas Greyrat, the mayor of this city. Paul is my cousin, more or less. What do you mean by more or less, huh? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. So he gives him the rundown on well, not even just as like you just go meet her, just go see what the situation is, huh? God. you know, I do think it's funny how I guess Rudius is Paul's son, so that's kind of why people keep saying stuff like this to him. You know, like sure, I guess I get the bias against him, huh? She's just a little willful, huh? It's kind of this guy's fault, isn't it? Like this is totally a parenting issue. The fact that Eris is like this, right? Like I'm all for personal responsibility, and I'm all for controlling your own behavior and stuff. But Eris is 9 years old. This is a parenting thing. You gotta not let her act like this. Like, there was no way that anyone's child should ever be acting like this, right? Like, come on. Come on. I don't expect much from you, but I'll try you out because Paul asked. Like another thing that's just this idea of expectations and stuff. It feels like it keeps coming up. It just feels like that's going to be a theme perhaps for a while for Rudius, right? I'm interested to see where we go with that. Anyway, here is Eris. She has very striking red hair. She's scary, apparently. That's what Rudius immediately feels. And I love how every word that she says, she just like yells. She just like screams everything. I don't believe my age is relevant. What? Are you disagreeing with me? And she slaps him immediately. Like, God, she is so ridiculous, right? Like, man. Um, I do think again, that's another thing that's like an interesting opportunity for Rudius through like this relationship with Eris is uh maybe through dealing with someone like this who is so difficult and so like the way she acts is so crazy, right? That oh, well, that's rude, right? Like again, it's not crazy. I get it, right? It's totally a parenting thing, and just like her environment and everything, right? The way that she's grown up, right? If anything, that kind of says something about Rudius too, because for Rudius, I think it's the environment he was in and all of that, right? I mean, hey, it started for him when he was still in like school, right? So he must have still been a child as well when the downward spiral for him started. That aside, this relationship with Eris, I just wonder like what perspective it might give Rudius on all of this. Like through seeing Eris change, assuming her behavior will get better with time, through the 5 years he's gonna be here apparently. I wonder if that'll give him like a different perspective on himself and like if he sees himself in Eris, in a sense, seeing her change and seeing her behavior, I hope, get better with time. Um, what would he think about that? What would that say about the way he views himself? I don't know. I don't know. I Something good, maybe. He hits her back, like God. He should know that wouldn't work though. Like again, he needs to think about how he would react to that if it was him in his previous life, right? If he was arguing with himself, trying to get himself to like leave a room or something, right? This would not work, right? Like, no, no way. And she becomes a demon and starts killing him. Like, God. We have like a crazy like slasher movie scene. She's the protagonist of a delinquent manga. It's exactly. And like this is what I mean, right? He's not even allowed to call her a vicious creature. Philip gets all mad. Like, come on. But he doesn't give up. He doesn't give up. If I just slink back home, father is sure to laugh at me. Like again, just add it to the tally of things with it. It just feels like he's worried about the reaction of the people around him, right? Of course he is, right? Um, which I guess I didn't really say this, but like my idea in the end is you have to worry more about like proving yourself to yourself, right? You have to trust yourself and prove yourself to, the things that matter for you, more so than worrying about the expectations of all the people around you, right? The problem with that is obviously if your own standards for yourself are so low, then you can end up someone like Rudius in his previous life, right? Uh, but I think it's unhealthy for all of your actions and everything to be ran through this filter of, oh, if I do this, then all these people are going to think this about me and they'll laugh at me and all of this stuff, right? I think for now, for Rudius, that's an important thing for him to have. I think he needs those external, like, pressures on him to make him, like, do stuff, right? I think that's good. I think that's good. And everyone has that. I think that is always a good thing to exist to keep you from falling into a similar position as Rudius, but I just think in terms of like your own evaluation of your like self-worth and stuff, that has to be something that comes from within yourself, right? All the other teachers gave up. Beating her in a fight won't make her listen. Yeah, he would know, huh? Yeah, we brought this up in this episode that he can't use healing magic silently. I wonder why. I wonder what it is about healing magic. Is there some kind of fundamental difference about it compared to other magic that makes it so we can't use it without the incantation? I don't know. That's very curious, huh? Zerudius comes up with his plan. This guy's smart, huh? He uses this whole thing as an opportunity to like uh to actually pull off like a crazy kidnapping scheme, right? Because he knows that the plan is for Eris to be fake kidnapped. So that's such a good cover for like an actual kidnapping to happen, right? No one's going to go out and like try and save her immediately, right? They're going to get past like the hardest part, which is kind of getting her like in a position like that in the first place, right? Yeah, yeah, it's actually it's very smart, huh? Here's his new room, huh? Very fancy. Hmm. So he has his plan. I never want to get beat up and thrown out into the streets again. And we have like this when he thinks this, there's like the sounds of like traffic and rain and stuff. That scene when he uh was kicked out, right? Yeah, yeah. This is so silly. He talks about the holy relic being back in the village, like Roxy's panties. Meanwhile, he has like this actual like meaningful thing that Roxy gave him. That's like oh, I guess I'll just this thing I'll have to do, right? Like God, that's so silly, man. Anyway, I we wake up in the dungeon. Yeah, and it seems like this is all the plan at first, but no, God, and the Eris has to be like traumatized after all of this, right? Like it is like horrible the way she gets like beaten by this lunatic in a moment. Like he literally starts like stomping on her head and being a complete maniac, right? I love Rudius like winking in the background, trying to, it's be like, yeah, I'm on your side here. It's great, but yeah, like, oh, it's so brutal and like awful. Like this guy easily could have just killed her. Are they trying to like sell her or something, right? Like, what are they doing? Are they insane? It's like Jesus. Oh God, it's so bad. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, I don't even want to look at it. But it's noteworthy that even there, after that horrible shit happens to her, that still doesn't like break her spirit, right? She still has like this rebellious attitude about her. It's that like deeply ingrained in her, right? It's that which again I think it makes sense because changing is hard. It's not that easy of a thing to do. Once you're in your you have the way you think and the way you feel and the way you do things, it's so difficult to change that at all, right? Yeah, yeah. So he heals her some. So, like, this god. Even once I guess this is like kind of the problem I have with what Rudius does here. Is it's like once he even realizes the situation is like serious and isn't just what he thought, and he still like starts viewing it as this way to like teach her a lesson like this. Like, oh, it just rubs me the wrong way, you know? Hmm. I still like the noteworthy part of that to me is the fact that all of this is like closely tied to, in my mind, the way that Rudius like sees himself in Eris in a sense. So it just kind of says something about the way Rudius views himself, you know? Yeah, yeah. Thinks about trying to blast them with magic, trying to fight his way out. We have no idea how strong they are. They're very strong, as we see later. Rudius would have lost without Ghislaine. I mean, yeah, he can't beat Paul in a fight. So how strong is Rudius? I mean, he's still like 7 years old, so not very strong. As of now, that's for sure. We just have no idea how powerful people are in this world at large, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. I don't want to die, so I'm leaving. Sayonara, and he just leaves. Like God, it's crazy, man. Really putting her in that situation, making her have to rely on another person. The thing that I guess he thinks someone like that needs, right? He would know from experience. Like, sure, I guess. God. He blocked the door with all this rock and stuff. But as we saw from Paul a few episodes ago, swordsmen in this world are crazy and can just do stuff like that. So yeah, yeah. God, it's horrifying. The like really scary vibe of like the nighttime like village that we're in and stuff. It's so man, I don't know. It scares me. It's so dark, right? There's no like artificial lights anywhere. It's so silent. There's no one walking about at all, right? Even once we get back into Roa, it's like that. It really just creates this vibe that it's very fitting. I like it. I like it. I like how they're hiding in the hay. It's here, just like, what are we even doing? Honestly, like, hmm. Back we go to Roa through the pitch black countryside. These horses go past, which like I guess isn't even them, right? It's just I mean, was that them? Because then I they are in Roa once we get there. So I guess I suppose so, huh? Hmm. She respects me a little now, I hope. Like this is kind of in that same vein, right? Rudy is thinking that this was all a bid to gain her respect. Like that he has to like, you know, do these video game-esque like decisions and like routes and all of that to gain people's respect and stuff, you know. It's such a yeah, yeah. It's interesting, especially later in the episode. He thinks about how, you know, the plan must have been a failure because he didn't do it all by himself, right? Gawain had to show up and save them. And you know, he failed to like impress her and all of this, right? Again, kind of in that same vein of meeting expectations, right? He thinks that Eris must have these very high expectations of him. And the only way that she would ever respect him is if he, you know, does this crazy stuff, right? You know, fights all those people off by himself. There's no way since Ghislaine showed up that she would care about him at all. And yet she still does. She still does clearly respect him, have some, you know, have less vitriol towards him at least, right? Which kind of yeah paints that idea of Rudius kind of being harder on himself and viewing, you know, viewing the hurdles that he has to like get over as being higher for him than anyone else views that, right? Hmm. Yeah, runs into this guy. Eris gets snatched. It's like so. Oh god, it happens like so fast. It's just like that. It is scary. Yeah, yeah. And the fight begins. I like this. They try and tempt Rudius with money, right? They're like, yeah, we'll give you a hundred Ostra gold coins, which what does that mean? I don't know. Apparently, it's a lot of money. You could pay for 10 admissions to the Magic University. Um, it's interesting because like kind of the logic that Rudius uses to like reject this is, oh, if this is like a video game, then of course this is the bad route to take, so I shouldn't, right? He kind of shuts himself down like actually considering it in that way, which is feels like feels meaningful, you know? It's almost like it's a test for Rudius in a way, but the way he decides what his decision should be isn't like actually this like moral consideration of it. It feels like, right? Like yeah, yeah. And yeah, who even cares about money, huh? Like, my experience in that niche taught me that what betraying the young lady would mean and what saving her now would lead to. Exactly, exactly. Money can't buy Dare. Like, what is wrong with this guy? God. So he sends out this flare, huh? Which I suppose is to get Ghislaine's attention, because she certainly does notice it. We have this moment of Eris, like, looking at it, seeing how... I guess this might be the moment where she, you know, she feels that, like, I guess, respect, or feels something towards Rudius, right? Towards, like, magic itself, maybe. That Rudius kind of felt like he must have failed to earn, but I feel like in this moment, that's kind of when he did, right? Yeah, yeah. So the battling begins. I think it's interesting. Rudius, it feels like he's trying not to kill these guys, right? Like he hits this guy in the balls, right? He could have hit him with a giant spear or something and killed him, right? Could have ran it right through him, but he doesn't, right? He has like this trepidation over killing people. I think he just doesn't. He doesn't want to. Can't really blame him. That is like a very scary thing to do. He has such a again such a visceral like reaction to the horrible bloody mess in a moment when Ghislaine shows up. The North God style has sword throwing techniques. Yes, yes. Ghislaine shows up, shatters the sword midair, and then breaks the sound barrier. It breaks like the light barrier. Is that that's not even possible, right? Like, what even is this? You know, you get like that rainbow effect and stuff. It's like the light like separating as she moves. You know, ridiculous, ridiculous. God. And yeah, here's that scene, huh? Oh. Hmm. What the hell happened indeed? And he looks down on his hands covered in blood. Such a ooh. I just feel like there's a lot going through his head in that moment, you know? There's yeah, yeah. Anyway, back we go. Back we go. Some very nice music in this scene. I like the music in this show a lot so far, for sure. Oh God, man. Yeah, Eris, like, poor girl, she has to be, it's like traumatized. It's so badly from all of this. Like, that was all awful, right? I wonder if they've had to deal with anything like this before. Crazy that she bats her own father's hand away, right? Like, it's that serious for her. It's that, why do you think she's like this, right? Why do you think she has this attitude? Like, beyond just that idea of viewing it as like bad parenting, and she's just spoiled, right? I wonder if for her it's also like an expectations thing, because that's a very easy thing to think, especially in that scene when she bats away his hand and has to stand up by herself, right? It's like this idea of like self-sufficiency and wanting to be seen as like strong and not wanting anyone to like disrespect her, not wanting to accept help from anyone. Like that kind of attitude, right? Which being the child of a noble family, I feel like that kind of makes sense. I feel like it you can think of a lot of ways how that kind of attitude could be formed in a child's mind because of the expectations perhaps that Eris herself has to live up to, being the child of a noble family, right? Another thing that connects her and Rudius in a way, right? I'm very interested to learn more about her, I suppose. Hmm. Cerrudius, yeah, he thinks he's failed, of course. My plan backfired. I ended up needing Ghislaine to save me. Oh, so unfair to himself to think that means it must be a failure, right? Like having to rely on her. What will happen to me if I die again? I assume he's dead. I assume this is a one-time thing. Who knows why this happened? We haven't really talked about that, but like, who knows why he's in this world or anything? That's always a question, right? I feel like we have absolutely no hints and no idea at all. There's kind of nothing for me to go off of, so who knows? Who knows? Hmm. Obviously, kind of the only thing about him being brought to this world that is interesting is the whole thing about the two high schools like disappearing, right? The ones that he saw in the way of the truck that he tried to like save, right? How two of them just like disappeared, right? Makes you think that that has to be connected to him appearing in this world, but who knows? Who knows? I don't really have anything to go off of, I guess, at all. I'll give you special permission to call me Eris, sure. He can stay here. He did not fail. Don't call her Eris-sama. Yeah, don't feed into that, please. I wonder if I earned affection points for my choice back there. And her saying that, her saying like don't call me Eris-sama, that's interesting because it makes me wonder if her behavior in all of this, right? Because calling her that, it's like a very proper like title, addressing her with like so much respect. Maybe she doesn't want that at all, right? Maybe like her rebellious attitude and everything is because she doesn't want to be treated like this. She basically doesn't want to be in a noble family at all, right? Like again, it's the expectations, right? It's what it means to be a noble, how you have to live, how you have to portray yourself. And it feels like she's kind of doing the opposite, right? She's rebelling against all of that so much. She doesn't want someone calling her Eris-sama. She wants someone just calling her Eris, someone just viewing her as her rather than the noble lady or whatever, right? That's how I imagine it. That's how I imagine it. Hmm. Does she plan to get her revenge once I'm officially her tutor? I hope not. I hope not. Got his first ever job, a young lady and violence. There sure was some violence in this episode, huh? Well, that was a good episode. That was a good episode. I hope my whole like tangent talking about like the discourse around the show again wasn't too long. I feel like I kind of rambled about that for too long, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. What's our next episode called again? A day off in Roa, right? I like that. That sounds nice. Maybe we'll have a nice, relaxing time. Of course, knowing this show, I mean, who knows? Anything crazy could happen. At this point, I just expect some nonsense to go on in the first 30 seconds of the episode that derails everything. Like, they'll have a day off because the mansion explodes or something. It's like I don't know, right? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, well, I suppose that's it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.